Hey, welcome back to BRR Knowledge Center. Now, in this session, we'll see what is the architecture of Dozo Toolkit. So, in the earlier session, we have seen that what is Dozo Toolkit and how to get it and what is the purpose of using this. So, as it is told in an earlier session, it is an open source where you can directly download from a downloaded Dozo Toolkit, website, and wherein you just use the reference of dozer.js, which is a base, core component you need to refer uh, inside of website or web page. And rest of all the components can be used using JavaScript, as I mentioned. So when it comes to an architecture, right, Dozo architecture, we have different components inside of this. So let me show you the components here. So these are the components inside of Dozo, right? We're looking at this here, like different components of this Dozo, right? This framework, this JavaScript framework that is used for making the user interactive web pages, right? It has majorly, right, three components, I can say. One is a code, right? And inside of that, we have a base, right? And we have a desert and we have a Dozo X. So basically, I can say this is one component, right? Inside of this we have a base and core, and this is one component, and this is one component, right? And this is widgets. That means custom code you can write here, and this is something utilities where you can use for different purposes. Okay, so coming to this core, right? So it included all the features, right, needed for developing any web page. It also included many features which are not included by any other framework. Okay, so on coming to this base, right, it contains features that are included already. It does not need to include using them. Okay. So whatever base features, so we have it already included in the code, right? All the features which are required for developing website, right? And coming to this desert, right? It is a kind of CSS which holds all interactive widgets and templates for developing JavaScript and web applications which are Ajax based. This will make applications right very rich and on a beautiful look for the user interaction. And coming to this Dozo X, it has the Dozo X, right, uh, extensions. Basically, Dozo X is the extension to Dozo. Okay, that means the Dozo core and component, right? So Dozo core basically, as I mentioned, using it for normal web page development, which includes all the features, right? But it included many features which are not included by any other framework. Hence, so by directly this core component, we can use it. This is Dozo core component. And this Dozo X is Dozo enhanced components, right? So it holds all widgets and API features that are used for developing JavaScript and Ajax applications, right? Which basically have highly user interactive widgets and fast loading capabilities inside of this Dozo X. Okay, and this coming to the widgets, it contains the whole right application widgets like other files that are necessary for making the application rich look, like some of them like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, etc. So using these widgets, you can create the application UI by just adopting this Dozer toolkit. And coming to this utilities, it contains the tools which need to make the application optimal, right? And minimal. So it is also used for a coder, right? Writing for code and syntax testing, right? It has different utilities inside of it where you can use it for, right, testing of your code and writing of code, right, based on the plugin. Okay. So these are different components inside of this Dozer toolkit. Once you download this Dozer toolkit, you will see different versions of this Dozo, folders here. Basically, Desert Dozo X, and this is the Dozo core one. You can call this as entail. This complete stuff is known as this is the Dozo. This entire stuff you can call it as a Dozo, which basically having core and base. So Dozo, Desert, Dozo X, these are the three components basically. Widgets and utilities are kind of the optional things which can be inside of Dozo X, right? But not outside of any this Dozo toolkit. Okay. So if you go and download this Dozo toolkit, and you will see that how it is going to looks like. Now let me open this Dozo toolkit, which I have been already downloaded, right? Uh, Let me see you this. This is what the Dozer toolkit have been downloaded. That is Dozer release 1.117.3, which basically having three components, as I said, Dozo and Desert and DozoX. These are the three components, as I mentioned. So one is Dozo core, that is Dozo. Let me write these steps here so that you will have more understanding. Uh, Components of Dozo, right? So this Dozo toolkit, the Dozo toolkit is a JavaScript framework which need to develop, which need to develop any web application. Okay, so it also right using it for making web applications very rich look for user interactions, right? So Dozo has three components. They are like one is as I mentioned Dojo or Dojo Core. Second one is Desert. Third one is Dojo X. So these are three components we have inside of the downloaded folder as I've shown you here, right? This thing. Okay. So we have three sections basically, right? Dozo, Dozo Desert, Dozo X. Okay. Opening this Dozo, we have different concepts here, like, different folders wherein you just use these things, but all these things are requirement based. So very initially you need to give dozer.js. This is what the you need to file. You need to give a reference inside of any website, and which will internally invoke all other dependent libraries. Okay. So, and coming to this Dozo X or Desert, it has different things as I mentioned, like templates, themes, right, icons, and layouts. And these the libraries which relevant to the features, like dialogues or menu or navigation container drop downs, right? Different widgets or calendar or dialog control editors, menu bar. These are different controls basically. So we can use all these controls, and you can keep all these things on the website using this Desert folder. And DozoX is, as I mentioned, this is the extension of Dozo. It holds all the widgets and API features. You can see in so many folders we have it. It is extended version of Dozo, right? So it has different widgets and API features that are using it for developing JavaScript and Ajax applications, right? For making right the applications highly user interactive and fast loading capabilities. So all these things we have inside of it, you just use all these things, and we'll see like some of the components anyway in the coming sessions, like how to use inside of DozeX. Okay, but only thing you need to understand in the session is like the architecture part. Like this contains basically three components: Dozo core or Dozo, right, and Desert, and the DozeX. So Dozo core is basically a manual component, the very basic component which will have Dozo reference, and which is basically similar to JavaScript framework, using it for just creating a web page applications. And this Desert basically is styling, right? Desert is kind of styling of keeping layouts beautiful or using of templates or themes, right? We have different themes inside of it, Conda, Soria, and Nilo, Claro. So there are different CSS, different style themes we have it. So all these things can be used. So basically, Desert folder containing the theming part, CSS part, or interactive widget part, wherein you just use the particular CSS classes instead of your application. And Dozo X is the extension version of Dozo Core, right? Which will have all API features wherein you use it for developing website. Okay. So as we learn about the Dozo toolkit, it contains the above mentioned components here, right? So some of things like, as I mentioned in the diagram, like Dozo base, the base features, right? Dozo core, like it's a basic the core library, we have it inside of it. So that can be used. And after that, we'll use Desert or Dozo X, right? Other utilities libraries. Now we'll see like advantages with this. Advantage of Dozo we can see here. The first one is it has the normal mean normally, right? It has the uh, coupled, right? It has loosely coupled libraries. And second thing is it has the right as the associated or associative array properties. So everything you can use as like array, like how you are using array properties, assigning and interacting with any library instead of docx. Okay. So it also have, right? It also has, right, objects and classes. So where it is very easy for any developer if any software supports objects and classes, right? Because you can directly use that class, right? And you can directly assign the properties, or you can directly call the method and property instead of writing a full length of code, right? And you can pass, you can simply inject that object into any other function. You can invoke or access the object properties in any other function here. So that means it is very understandable and very easy syntax having it for any developer can easily get into here and download and have a reference and use this for developing any web page, right? Suppose if you want to have a small web page, right? Wanted to develop, right? So how to do this? Okay. So let me explain that in coming session, like how to use this. But I'll try to uh, uh, give a small example here. Like you just write some HTML file, right? This is what HTML file I'm writing it, and here anyway you will have head section, right? Inside of head section, you will have title of your web page. That's it's not a mandatory, but you can use this title property dozo demo, right? And after this, you need to give a reference, right? That's what I'm just asking you. That is script, right? SRC. So they were dozo, right? Core reference you need to provide here. Okay. So, and also if you want to make, right, the hits to web server in a synchronous process, you need to mention the uh, config of dozo, right? Property like dozo config equal to, right, async true. So this is what the reference you need to give here. So here, I think after you download it, right, it will be in dozer folder. Hence, you need to give in this way. Okay. And of course, after this head section, we'll have a body section wherein you need to start the writing of controllers, which you need to display it. So here I can display, welcome to the demo. That's it. So this is basically loads simply dozer library onto your page, and this will get displayed here. Okay. So using this, right, you can use any component inside of this digit. So as I mentioned, right, this is basically having different components inside of digit, right? Icons and layouts or tree, right? Several things we have in this docx, and you can use all this stuff, right? Suppose if you want to use any kind of a grid, right, you go and use this grid. If you want to use a kind of chart, right, you can use a charting here. All the relevant charts, 3D and 2D, and different chart types like series. You can plot it using this particular charting component. Okay. So let's look at this demo part in the next session. We'll see like how to use this dozo as part of displaying the dialog, or as part of displaying or binding data to a grid or binding data to chart, and see how it looks like. Okay. So thanks for listening to this video, and please subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.